Hey, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to another PHNX Suns pregame show brought to you by our friends over at the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. If you download that app right now and use the code PHNX when you sign up, after placing just a $1 bet on any NBA team to score some points, you are going to win $100 in free bets instantly when you use, again, that code PHNX. I'm Lindsey Smith. That's Espo. It is just the two of us tonight. You and Saul just swapping places.
You tried to kill me, and you couldn't pull it off, all right?
Well, you know.
Oh, no, I'm back, so I apologize to everybody. Before we start, can I?
Yes,
can
absolutely.
Okay.
Take it away.
Some sad news came out today, and I'm just going to have to pour one out. Literally, I'm going to pour one out for my homie, one Frank Kaminsky.
R.I.P. Frank Kaminsky.
That was a lot of White Claw in that can.
I didn't know you were going to pour out the whole thing.
That's how much I am hurt that Frank is out indefinitely with a knee issue. No actual definitive what knee issue.
What did they call it? A reaction?
Stress reaction.
A stress reaction. I don't know that I've ever heard that one before, to be honest.
I don't either, but as a large man, you would think my knees would be the ones with the stress reaction and not poor Frank Kaminsky's. But, he finally gets some minutes, and then his knees go, hey, whoa, we're not prepared to play that much basketball. So he's out indefinitely. The Cove is going to be quiet for a while. So I had to pour one out to start this out.
It's just really disappointing because I was really hopeful that, we would end up having you getting tattooed by Frank or with a Frank Kaminsky tattoo.
Not going to be happening for a while.
Yeah, and so the fact that is even further delayed really hurts my heart. Plus, it's always fun to see a guy like Frank Kaminsky get some minutes and do well. And now that has literally been taken away from us, the opportunity isn't even there. It's super disappointing.
You know what? The worst part is we're going to hear certain subsections of the crowd, including the Cove crazies, certain people in there going, it's time to play sticks. And there is never time to play sticks. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting thing. Hopefully we won't have to go down that route. Knock on wood, nobody else gets injured.
Hold on. Shane just put up, the mustache behind the Mac, just put up his own comment. I have a stress reaction every day at work. Hey, you chose this job, Shane, so we don't feel sorry for you.
I can kind of relate.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah. Lindsey shows up for like 5 hours in the studio a week, and then there's a stress reaction. I'm sorry.
I won't go down that route. The Suns are looking to go 12 straight tonight. Of course, they have the Denver Nuggets in town, and it just so happens that about 15 minutes ago, the Nuggets tweeted out that Nikola Jokic will not play tonight. Shane, since we're already talking about injuries, why don't you just throw up the injury graphic real quick so that we can knock this all out. So, as we mentioned, Frank is out, Dario's out, Abdul Nader is also out, and then for the Nuggets, Michael Porter Jr. and Nikola Jokic are both out as well.
So I like that the Walmart Booker news helps even out my Frank feelings. So I feel a little bit better. And who would have guessed? Michael Porter Jr. out with back issues. That seems like, almost every other time that you play the Nuggets that'll happen. And Jokic just ducking DA. It's another superstar in back-to-back games just ducking DA. So.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm not mad about it because I'm a little bit nervous sometimes when we play against Pat Bev and now Nikola Jokic. I'm a little bit nervous as to what's going to happen to my guys. I'm just am. Sorry if I'm being petty or dramatic, but
do the Jokic brothers still come to a game when Nikola's not playing? Because I'd be still worried if they're in the stands.
Do they travel?
I don't know. I'm just wondering. They tweet now, so there's that to be concerned about.
Do you follow them on Twitter?
I don't. I should. But then I'm afraid I'm going to start something stupid with them, and I'm not exactly the guy that should be fighting them. Yeah. Well, Phoenix, is a fake foam finger. He can fight whoever he wants.
Right.
But me, probably against my better judgment to go against the Jokic brothers.
Yeah, I don't think I would. That's not a bone I would probably want to pick. But, so Nikola Jokic is out. This should be with the injuries that the Nuggets have on their plate, this should be a win for the Suns. The one thing that I am a little bit concerned about, or just hope that the Suns note mentally, is that just because Nikola Jokic is out doesn't mean they can take the night off or take it a little bit easy.
No, it should be a win, but the Suns have had a way of, as I believe it was DeAndre Ayton said, playing with their food. And when you've kind of toyed around for 3 quarters and you wait till that fourth to take care of business, you limit that margin for error, and that worries me because even without these guys, the Nuggets still pose a threat, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't take it serious enough, you're likely to kind of take it in the backside. You're going to wind up just regretting that decision in the long run. So I'm not ready to pencil this down as a guaranteed win. I still think that that the Nuggets pose a threat here.
Well, with that, let's take a look at our picks and see what we actually think is going to happen tonight.
Oh, Gerald going 67 for the Suns.
He's got a lot of faith in the Suns.
I saw apparently just, too focused on football, just threw out 353, the Nuggets by that. You take this seriously, Lindsey. You've got
Always.
the Suns by 5, and I'm saying the Suns by 3. I may lean closer to you now that I know officially that Nikola Jokic is out, but I don't know. I still think I have an odd feeling that this is going to be a closer game than it should be at all.
Yeah, I could see that. And honestly, before we knew that Nikola Jokic was out, I was a little more inclined to lean like Nuggets by 3. But now that we know he's out, I do think that's obviously a benefit for the Suns in this one. But like you said, you still got to show up.
Yeah, Lindsey was sitting in here, and my office is right next door. She bangs on the wall, freaking out to get me to change the pick. So she takes it very seriously when I actually ask her what her pick is. So.
On Sundays, anyway.
On Sundays is when she takes it seriously.
Okay, so before we go any further, I want to play a soundbite from Mikal Bridges after Friday's game where he had a perfect shooting night. He was 7 for 7 from the field. This is what he had to say when our friend Dwayne Rankin asked him about what Monty had said after the game.
Ball's not in my hands. I got told Book. I'm like, the reason why I go 7-7 because UNCP 20 shots and 14 shots. So them boys be getting them up. So they got the ball all the time. So I tell them, look, when I was scoring, y'all was giving me the ball when I was struggling a little bit, and they started shooting it. So that's the reason why I took 7 shots.
They also said that you should be all defense. Chris said you don't have to play another game. You should be all defense because the multiple guys that you defend. How do you do that though every night, defending multiple guys and staying locked in when you know it's a different assignment? It could be every other trip.
Just like I said, just like I always say. Never just me, I got 4 other guys behind me that's just always there. Got coaches with great scouts and, I watch film, so, it's a team thing and our coaches help prepare me and I know I could be a little bit aggressive with DA down there and everybody else helping me out.
So I know he's joking.
He's totally joking.
Brings it up, but I obviously didn't get a chance to talk about this on Friday night. And it bothered me. And I took some heat on Twitter when I woke from my coma on Saturday and actually said, hey, they need to run plays for the hot hand. And people are like, well, that's not how this offense works. Well, A, it should. But B, there is a play off the elbow that they run, which is one of their major plays, that is set specifically for that small forward position. And they should have run that more frequently for Mikal. I mean, when you're that hot and you do all that damage, 17 points in the first half, and you get 2 points in the second, you get that DA treatment in the second, there's something fundamentally wrong with that. And, yes, it's not all the blame falls on coaching staff for the offense. Some of it falls on Mikal. He did not take some shots that were open, so that falls on him. Teammates didn't always find him. That falls on them. And then some of it falls on the offensive structure. And when you have guys that are hot, I think you should be doing what you can to put them in a position to score. Devin Booker shooting 20 shots on a night where he's not efficient just doesn't seem to be what's the best use of things, especially when in a third quarter. That was some very ugly basketball that played in that third quarter. They couldn't get an offensive flow. It was disjointed, so at that point you would think you go, okay, let's slow this down, turn some of it over to the guy that's shooting so well and carried us in that first half.
I agree. I mean, I could see if this was just like the last 5 minutes of the game, Chris Paul and Devin Booker being a little more selfish with the ball, I get that. But a whole half seems a little excessive. Like, they should be going out of their way to find Mikal. Now, to your point, I don't want to glaze over this because Mikal was obviously joking.
Oh, 100%.
And I think there were a handful of people who maybe weren't sure that if he was joking or not entirely. But that was definitely a joke by Mikal. There's a smidge of truth to it, but it was in a playful way anyway.
He played to his personality, which tends to be
more dry.
The guy that jokes and has that dry humor, but he also knew his teammates would hear it.
Yes.
And I think that was part of the point was, I'm going to joke about this, but maybe we should have got me the ball a few more times. Let's get me a few more shots.
Well, and the thing is, too, like, I don't know if we talked about this or if I saw it on Twitter or whatever, but the second half of that soundbite, right? Him talking about being all defense and not getting the nod in those areas that he should be getting. If he scores more points, he's going to get that attention.
Yeah.
Which is kind of shitty to say because it's like we're talking about a defensive player or a defensive category, but you still need offense in order to gain the attention for that side of what you're doing. But it is what it is. And we're the Phoenix Suns, so we know that you have to go above and beyond to get any of that recognition. Yeah. So it would be nice to see Mikal having games where he is contributing more on the offensive side to get that notoriety on the defensive side.
Well, and let's be frank. Some of those voters in those for these things are somewhat lazy. They can't watch everything, right? And obviously there's some East Coast bias. The Suns are still viewed as primarily an offensive team in a lot of ways. So you're not going to get that defensive attention necessarily, like you said, unless you're doing something so big on both ends of the court that it's drawing specific attention. People are paying attention to Devin Booker, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton. Those are the guys, and DeAndre to a much lesser extent, but those are the guys on this team that are getting that national attention, and Mikal has to work that much harder to be able to get it. It isn't fair, but that's just the way this is. And a lot of times this just isn't gonna be fair, and he's gonna have to do more. And Monty's gonna push for him in those cases, and eventually he will get recognized the way he deserves to, because some of those defensive plays that he makes are next world, like how he got that block on Friday night where he started at the top of the key, came all the way around and got a block on a guy in the corner. I mean, he does amazing things defensively. It will eventually get recognized. So
it probably helps a little bit when you have a teammate like Chris Paul talking about it too, because people pay attention to Chris Paul. So the more he talks about Mikal's defense, the better that'll be. I'm hopeful anyway. Chris in the chat said, you sound way better. You do. You sound way better.
I'm on steroids. I had to bring in the big guns. I'm not really, but yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Chris, I'm trying to come back. I'm 85%.
It's amazing what'll happen when you give your body some rest.
Yeah, I was Jordan flu game Wednesday. Saul said, get the hell out of the office. If I see you before Sunday, you're fired, which I said, you can't fire me, but fine. And then I went home. So.
Well, whatever works on getting you home to take care of yourself. Okay, so who's the favorite in tonight's game? What does Vegas think about
Vegas thinks it's the Suns by 7.5. I have not looked. I did this about 15 minutes before the show. The line may have moved with the Jokic news, but 7.5 probably seems right in that zone even without Jokic playing for the Nuggets. I know I picked the Suns by 3, but I'm sitting here and I'm like, that 7.5 looks mighty tempting. If I get in that app before the game starts, maybe I'll I'll take that because the more I think about it, the more it seems like this is a game the Suns should find a way to win by double digits. Fabio in the chat earlier made an interesting point. He said in the playoffs, the Suns offense basically focused on getting switches where they could go straight up against MPJ. So maybe that's actually a negative that he's not playing for the Suns.
That's
I don't
a
know.
fair point.
There's still going to be plenty of mismatches because the Nuggets will be playing with a lot of their backups. And then somebody else in the chat said Campazzo is the Walmart Ricky Rubio. Bam said that. So yeah, I think he's the Dollar General Ricky Rubio. Let's not besmirch the great name of Ricky Rubio, who reminded us what it looks like to have a point guard in Phoenix. So
the line is now 11.
the line is
Okay.
11.
DraftKings Sportsbook app.
Now I'm a little less likely to take that, but still tempted. I think the Suns will probably win by 9 or 10, so I'd stay away from the 11. I'd take the Nuggets and the points there, but that's just me. I also made a hefty bet tonight as well, but I don't know that I'm gonna let anybody in on that. Maybe I'll tell you what it was after. But I'll be paying very close attention to the first basket is what I'm saying.
Oh, we talked about this on Friday actually, because Saul bet Jay Crowder to make the first buckets of the game. So those first 30 seconds or so there, he was really invested.
I got $100 on Jay Crowder to win 1,300. So
Come on,
let's
Jay
go, Jay.
Crowder.
It's dumb, but it's fun because it's ridiculous odds. So.
Mike B in the chat said, why are people talking about waving sticks and needing to fill Dario and Frank's position? What did I miss? Was there a trade or something? No, Mike B. Frank is out indefinitely with a knee stress reaction. So that's probably what everyone is talking about there.
And indefinitely sounds like it's actually going to be a long. This isn't like 2 weeks. It doesn't sound like.
Because that's the thing is, I feel like usually with injuries, they only put indefinitely on the end of a time frame if it's longer than 2 weeks or they genuinely have no idea when it could happen.
That's what I feel like it is. They genuinely don't know when Frank will be back, which makes me wonder, our guy Flex from Jersey constantly talking about Thad Young. If you're going to make a Thad Young deal, now's probably a good time to do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that. But he did mention, I think we actually asked him about that on Friday. He said it's not dead, but there hasn't really been a lot of movement there one way or the other.
Now there's reason for
Maybe
that.
the movement will pick up now.
Suns have been reluctant to include a first. I'd say screw it, include a first. Because what Frank was doing so well was being a facilitator from that big man spot. Thad Young is a great passer. You could really bolster that front court and do it at what I think is a relatively cheap price. I'd look at that heavily now with Frank out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, Mike, it does suck. We're really sad for Frank. We're also sad that the potential for Espo to get a Frank Kaminsky tattoo is put on the back burner now. And
Mike, I feel bad as well. We started the show with me pouring out a full Red Claw for my fallen friend there. So,
Rip 93 Ford in the chat said maybe we can get Craig back.
I think there's more likely a chance to have Craig Morgan, our hockey beat writer, play for the Suns than getting Torrey Craig back this year. But that's just my
your
guess.
take.
Yeah, that's my take.
All right. Well, let's move along to your keys of the game. Espo, take it away.
My keys of the game: limit anarchy without the Joker. Don't let things that shouldn't happen in this game happen. Just take care of your damn business. Don't wait till the end to finish, all right? You can close a team out before the freaking fourth quarter. It does not need to be closed through 3 quarters. Just figure it out. And don't be like Matt Prater. Hit field goals. Make your shots tonight, and it's going to take care of business.
Make your shots tonight. That's a big one. So I feel like there's been a couple games recently where it's like, how?
I love that we act like that's great analysis. If you make your shots, you're gonna win a basketball game. Good night, everybody. Like it's not a big thing, but it's just one of those. They go through these stretches where they go ice cold. They need to be consistent tonight.
The defense keeps them in it. Thank goodness for that.
Get it done through 3 quarters and just relax. You know?
Well, I mean, it would be great too, because everyone ripped me for this on Friday, but whatever. If we can put them away early, we get to see some of the younger or the end of the bench guys anyway.
Hey,
and
I'm fine with 47
I'm always
seconds
okay with that. I
of
think
love
it's
for those
fun.
guys. Great tease, by the way, that you guys did on the tweet. I was like, what the hell happened while I was gone? 47 seconds of love? What? So I was very, very confused.
And that was all Saul Bookman's
yeah,
thinking.
of course
so
it
shout
was.
out to him for that one.
But look, you got a back-to-back, too. So
Yeah.
it's Spurs tomorrow night in San Antonio.
These
if
are
I'm correct.
tough ones.
Yeah, so the earlier you can get crap done tonight, take care of your stuff up front tonight,
And get your
you
starters
can get
out.
prepared for tomorrow. And that's key because you're traveling right after this. You're not getting in there until 3, 4 a.m. It's tough. You and I both have been on road trips where that happens. We don't play, and that shit's tough to go through. Having to play, get on a plane, not get to sleep till 4 a.m., then play that following night, that stuff's difficult.
It is. It's really difficult. And in addition to that, you want to start this week out on a positive note because they have 5 games in 7 days starting tonight. So it's Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. So and then you have Thanksgiving in the middle, which I'm sure a lot of these players will have family members fly out to see them on Thanksgiving. At least the older ones typically do.
I mean, I assume since they've relaxed the COVID restrictions that'll be more
Right.
likely to happen. But still, it's not a normal thing. And I get it, they're professional athletes. They get paid enough. It doesn't matter. It still matters. It's time that they miss with their family. So,
Right.
and while you're all enjoying your 4-day weekend, we'll be slaving over a hot stove, bringing you pre and post game shows both Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, so come hang out with us.
Please do.
Yeah, you guys got all the time in the world, so you have no excuse but to come hang out with us and bring your whole family with you.
Well, you don't have to bring the whole family. That might be awkward. But you guys show up. That'd be nice.
I mean, why not?
Fine, I'm bringing my 4-year-old. She's going to host. So.
Okay, I'll bring my
No.
niece and she can host for me.
As long as Saul's not
This'll be
in,
hilarious.
I'll bring my daughter in. So.
It'll be a whole bunch of, if you're having fun right now, be sure to leave a thumbs up.
Smash that subscribe button. Yeah.
That's fantastic. All right, before we wrap things up to get ready for tip-off, anything else, Espo?
Don't start any fights in the stands. You're not going to become famous in a regular season game. That's my advice to you.
That's good advice. My last thing before we say goodbye is just something to keep an eye out for tonight. Friday night, DeAndre Ayton reached 2,000 career rebounds. And heading into tonight's game, he is 20 points shy of reaching 3,000 career points. So keep an eye out for that. Maybe we'll reach it. Maybe we won't. We'll see. But it's going to happen probably either tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, for as much crap as this guy takes, he's still doing things that are very impressive at the age of 23. So enjoy it. I believe it'll be 3,000 points and 2,000 rebounds in 188 games.
Something like that.
If he gets it tonight, that's pretty damn impressive.
That is. And I'll see if I can figure out there were 2 other players I think that were faster than him in Suns franchise history to the rebounds. I'm going to try and figure it out, but I'm having a hard time.
I'm going to bet it's Amari
Okay.
and probably Alvin Adams.
That's a good one. That's for sure. All right. And then last thing for real, Buck Dog said, real men fight in the chat. And I think that is hilarious. So
If any, I bless you all with the right to fight in the chat if any Nuggets fans infiltrate. You can scream whatever you want as well while you're doing it. So
that one made me laugh. So that's what we're going to end it on. I'm Lindsey Smith. You can follow me on Twitter at LindseySmithAZ. That's Espo. You can follow him on Twitter at Espo. You can follow the show on Twitter at PHNX_Suns. And come hang out with us during the game. And then we'll meet you guys right back here after the final buzzer.
ahoy hoy.